Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's JamBox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Breakfast Buzz, a bright and full-bodied breakfast tea. An assertive blend of black tea originating in Assam, Ceylon, and Kenya. Breakfast Buzz is bold with a malted, smoky taste, and just a touch of peat is guaranteed to get your day started right. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hello, what's good? My name's Yxngheem.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Well, I do West Coast rap, more Cali style. Mm-hmm. And I got into it recently, December probably. I started taking it more serious. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And are you from California originally? You're from Portland the whole time?
I'm from Portland. I lived back in Cali when I was little, for a year or so.
Okay, yeah. Cool. I mean, just long enough to get the influence.
Yeah.
So. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And what was what got you into music initially?
I don't really know. I just I would write it since I was little, on notebooks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's just how I kept on going. Then later on, I started recording that same music.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And did you ever play any instruments, or have you just always been kind of a lyricist?
Recently I started getting into the guitar and stuff, Mexican music, but
oh, hell yeah.
I'm not good at it, yeah.
And is anybody in your household musical, or are you the first generation of musicians?
Well, my cousins do music too, we had a little group. Mm-hmm. And then my mom does she sings Mexican music and stuff.
Cool.
It's more that type of style, yeah.
Oh yeah, I dig that.
Yeah.
And what was some of the earliest music you remember hearing when you were younger?
Probably from my dad. He'd play Mexican music in the car and stuff, yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like that was a pretty big part of your experience growing up.
Mm-hmm,
what made you want to get into more of the West Coast rap scene?
Well, I don't know, it's just more I got older, the more that style started fitting me and stuff.
I gotcha.
But I still like that type of music, yeah.
Oh yeah. And we'll definitely dig into more of how it'll influence your music more.
Mm-hmm.
But for the next one, I have a couple questions that we check in with everybody on.
Mm-hmm.
And this first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, I've never bought an album.
That's all right. There's definitely a threshold where it kind of happens.
Yeah.
Everybody just moved over to streaming.
Yeah.
And then I guess I'm curious, what was the first album that you had to listen to over and over again?
It was the Polo G. I forgot the name. I think it's called The GOAT.
Okay.
I would listen to it all the time, yeah.
And what about that album made you want to keep listening to it?
It just has no bad songs. Even his low quality ones are so good.
Oh yeah. That's such a good way of putting it. Any album that you can cover to cover, it's because it's got to have all hits and notices.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
And then what was the first live show you ever went to that was one you wanted to go to?
I went to one before that, but I didn't really like it. I just went because I had a free ticket. But my first one I went to was Bravo the Bag Chaser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And what made you want to go to that?
He's just does the same type of music I do. So.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Well, did anybody else cool perform with him?
He brought AC Chike with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then before we move into more of the current day stuff,
mm-hmm.
do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take it more seriously?
Yeah, well, I recently dropped out of school, so that motivates me more to actually take it serious.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get on into you in the current day then.
Yeah.
We're gonna knock out a super easy one. How'd you pick the name?
Before this, I had a name Blocker 300. A lot of people knew that, but I just didn't like it. So my cousin's name was Yxngheem,
mm-hmm.
so I just switched it to Yxngheem.
Oh, okay.
Stay like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What made you want to, or why didn't you like the original name?
I don't know. It just had a lot of hate on it, I guess.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's talk about your writing process, because it sounds like you've been writing music for a little while, but you recently started kind of putting it towards yourself instead of others.
Yeah.
When you get a track started, when you feel inspired to make music, how do you get a track started?
No, I'll just be anywhere and I think about something and I just write it down on notes. Yeah.
Okay. And do you do it on your phone? Do you have pen and paper? Do you always...
if I have if it's good and I don't have my phone with me, I'll do it pen and paper.
Okay. Well, I dig that. Yeah. And then once you get a track finished, or I guess because of how early you've been on your own music, have you performed any of your own music yet?
Yeah, I had a open concert for EBK and Jog recently. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And how long does it usually take you to get comfortable or feeling comfortable performing your own music?
I didn't know nothing about it. I just got up there and did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
did good for my first time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And do you do any freestyles on your own? Do you always do pen and paper?
Yeah. Sometimes I go in the studio just freestyle some bars
Okay.
And then from there, cut and freestyle some, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And since you just recently got more serious about it, how has your process changed or solidified?
What do you mean,
because like I said, for a while, it sounds like you were doing you're writing stuff for other people. But when it comes to putting your own music together, you've been doing it for a little while now. How has your process changed to fit more of focusing on you?
It's just easier because now I know what I'm going through, so it's easier to write it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are the topics that you write about, are they typically things that are going on in your regular life, or do they are they more fictional? Or
most of them are most of my songs that are for me, I write them down. But some of my friends are yo, write me a song for this and this, and I just do it. Yeah.
So do you do you appear on other people's tracks fairly often? Do you do features, or are you mostly stick to your own stuff right now?
I stick to my own stuff right now. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And do you do any production on your own, or do you make any beats or anything like that, or do you just strictly stick to being a lyricist?
I've tried beats and stuff, but I wasn't really that good at it, so I just stick to it.
Okay. Yeah. And do you have people that you work with that make beats now, or do you buy beats from elsewhere? How do you go about that?
Well, I recently started I bought a beat from a guy and I really liked it because it was easy to work with. So I think I'm gonna start buying from him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, once you can find somebody who makes stuff that's kind of in the style that you dig, it's definitely good to work with them as much as you can, at least for album to album. That's kind of the bigger part of it. And I know you've got an album coming up soon. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with that? Yeah.
Well, I started I have a couple songs I post on Instagram, and people just tell me to drop them. So I'm waiting for an album. I'm just waiting for 2 special features to get back and probably drop it. I don't know exactly when though. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I think it's interesting that you're deciding to go the album route this day and age when everybody's trying to do single after single after single. Yeah. Are you going to put out any singles from the album, or do you just want to drop it all at once and then put it after?
I might drop one of the special features first, so it can gain a little bit of attention.
Okay. And
then just drop it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And do you know how many tracks you're going to have on the album yet?
8 or 9.
Okay, so it's a good album.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, that's exciting. And I guess what are some of your major influences towards your sound then at the moment?
Probably Peso.
Okay.
G Money DT, and I think that would be Bravo the Bag Chaser. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably yeah.
Oh yeah, I dig that. And then looking at your current sound, so the music that you're working on, even though it's not out yet, what are some of the things about it, the descriptive stuff that you're enjoying? What are some of your characteristics of your sound that you think are really cool or unique?
The way I story tell stuff, how I do story tells on songs, I just like that a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, I dig that for sure. And then if we zoom out a little bit, we're going to look at current music as a whole, so stuff that's going on right now. What are some of the things about new music and current music that you really enjoy?
I mean, I enjoy more songs that talk about street stuff and stuff like that. So I just prefer that type of music. Yeah. So I enjoy that. Yeah.
And can you define what you mean by street stuff just a little bit?
More I don't like it when they talk about being rich and stuff and fame and stuff. I like it more when they talk about being broke and stuff.
Okay, so more of the kind of the grind and the life and things like that. Oh yeah. And do you focus more on songs that are a little more emotionally driven, or do you focus more on songs that do more of a storytelling type atmosphere, since that's kind of your focus?
I would say a mix of both, storytelling, but a sad story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, before we move into the next portion, which is more of hypothetical questions. This next question is probably the densest question we have in the interview. But we've talked a lot about, your experience with music already and the things that you do with it. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
What do you mean?
What fulfilling, or what is fulfilling to you about music? What do you find gives you kind of like the reason to keep doing it?
It's just like you can be bored or anything, like just do music. Like you're sad, you sing music, you just count on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say music is kind of there when you need an outlet?
Like therapy, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I dig that for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions. And for these, it's all made up. Sky's the limits.
All right.
But this first one's pretty straightforward. If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
I'd have to say, I'd probably work with like Peso, yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And how would you want to work with them? Would you want them to feature on a song? Would you want to feature on a song?
I want them to feature on a song, yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
There's this guy, his name is Sleezo. Yeah, I'd like to work with him, yeah.
Oh yeah. And what do you like about his sound?
It's just like my type of sound, and like exactly what I explained that I like in the song is what he has.
Oh, okay. I dig that. Well, you know what to do, everybody. Make sure to add him in the comments. Let's go ahead and make that happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know he's definitely around here. Have you tried hitting him up yet?
Not really. No, I haven't tried. Yeah.
Well, definitely, I would recommend reaching out to him. I know I've talked to him in the past before.
Yeah.
He's definitely accessible.
Yeah.
And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, it's guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show, and it doesn't have to be a venue. It can be anywhere, and it'll work. Where would you want to perform?
I would say like the NFL games, like halftime.
Okay.
Yeah, the final.
Yeah. Would you want to go straight to Super Bowl, or would you just
Super Bowl? Yeah, Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, I dig that. That's actually, I think I've only gotten that answer like one before, but that's a really cool experience for sure. I imagine, it's the most televised event, I think, still in TV history.
That's how I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to go.
Yeah.
And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody right now, and they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday, who would you want an album from?
Well, I wanted one, but I just recently found out he was dropping one. His name's Money Sign Suede.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you know when he's putting out the album?
I think it was like April something, soon.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so if it hasn't come out already, it's definitely coming out soon. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. What can we look forward to between, let's say, now and October?
October, definitely the album.
Oh, yeah.
Couple music videos, yeah.
Okay. Are you doing any shows or anything like that?
Right now, on the way here, I was looking at a show. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Salem, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then for this next part, go ahead and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and YouTube right now. And my username is Yxngheem, but Young is spelled Yxng, and there's an underscore at the end.
Oh yeah, and it'll all be on the screen and things like that, so people will see it if they're watching it.
Okay.
And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Shout out to Young Hender. His name is Yxng Hender, and Guaplex. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, now we've got one last question to go, but before we do, I'm gonna steal the camera for just a second.
All right.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like it. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's one not a lot of people know. It's a deep cut. It's like, it could be one you like grew up with, or like one just not a lot of people have like caught on to yet. But it's one you think everybody should go listen to.
Probably Get Rich or Life Sliding by Peso.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Before we wrap this up, it sounds like you've mentioned Peso kind of a few times. Like, what are some of the elements of their music that you enjoy?
The same storytelling. Like he started off on my age. Yeah.
Okay.
So like he's just like a big inspiration.
Hell yeah. Well, everybody, at them in the comments too. Let's make that happen for him.
Yeah, he's answered me. Just charges a lot. Yeah.
Oh no, I feel that. All right. Well, everybody start a GoFundMe. No, I'm just kidding. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Yxngheem.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.